Hey everybody, Gabby here. Happy Monday. I know normally we start off Mondays using a new team, but unfortunately I did miss a video last week, so I want to do one more with the Soak Zapdos team that I was featuring last week. If you haven't seen those other videos yet, you can check out the links up above right now. And then, I don't know, maybe for the rest of this week's uploads, I'll showcase what I've been using on stream because it's been really fun going through that team building process with y'all live on Twitch. If you haven't seen me on Twitch yet, I do stream every Tuesday, Thursdays, and Friday from 7 p.m. Eastern all the way until, I don't know, like 2 hours later, maybe. So it's a lot of fun and I'd love to see you there. So for today's video, we're playing Adam. Good luck, have fun, Adam, who's running what appears to be a... You know, it's interesting. Like, my brain sees this, and it's like, it's a Galarian Moltres team. No, it's a Regieleki team. No, it's a Metagross team. No, there's a Magnezone there for some reason. So I think I'm just going to call this a Good Stuffs team. Because it's a Good Stuffs team, and because we do have the Regieleki present, I think starting off with Whimsicott Landorus is probably the safer play. I don't see anything that'll necessarily punish and intimidate, whereas having a ground-type Pokemon as a lead, and also having an intimidate user of my own can really help sort of guide how this game is going to go. Urshifu is another Pokemon that I really want to work out for this, so I'm going to bring Urshifu in the back. And then, as my last Pokemon, I'm actually thinking Zapdos, because I want something that's bulkier. I want the Dynamax access to Max Flare from the Heat Wave that Zapdos knows. So I feel like overall this is going to be just a really well-balanced approach to what my opponent is probably going to send out. Like, I would assume to see the definitely the Metagross and the Regieleki from my opponent, and then the rest really depends on what their strategy is. I think personally I would do something like Galarian Moltres, Regieleki as a potential lead, then Metagross Landorus in the back, but I don't know. I don't know. Good luck, have fun, Adam. A lot of it also depends on what kind of sets that Adam has on these Pokemon. So when I see the Regieleki, I just assume, okay, it's probably going to be the Screens variant, and if it were the Screens variant, I would definitely lead it, and that is what we're going to see revealed from Adam alongside of the Landorus. So, knowing that, I'm not going to lie, it is a little bit tempting to forego the Turn 1 Tailwind and instead try and maybe taunt the Regieleki or otherwise otherwise try and stop the Screens. I think taunt on this Whimsicott is my only option to do that, and I actually, just kidding, I don't have that. It's been a whole weekend, guys, since I've played with this team. So instead, and/or for simplicity's sake, I think going for a Tailwind and then the Earthquake is probably my best option. I'm also perfectly fine with activating my own eject button here on Whimsicott to get a defensive switch in. I think the Zapdos might be the Pokemon I target for that if I go that route, but yeah, I don't know. It's definitely an interesting spot to be in. Also, an interesting calc I've seen with this Landorus in particular on this team is that even with Reflect up, the Landorus can still potentially KO the Regieleki. Unfortunately, that was not, Reflect plus and Intimidate. So in this case, we're just gonna miss it. Thanks to a Focus Sash, but that's still really great info for me. Don't like the proc of the weakness policy on Metagross. That was a very smart switch on my opponent's half, but I do have the opportunity now, thanks to Whimsicott activating the eject button, to force a switch. So we're gonna go ahead and set in Zapdos so that we immediately threaten the Max Flare onto that Metagross. I think my opponent probably went for the Reflect. Oh no, Electro Web. Okay. That's fine. Even with Tailwind, or at -1 speed plus Tailwind, Zapdos should still outspeed that Metagross. So we are perfectly fine to just go Dynamax. Really, we could even... No, okay, Max Lightning is not a smart idea here because you do not want to be setting terrain for a Regieleki, like, regardless of what you're doing. And if I were more confident with how much damage Airstream would do to Metagross, I would, I think, go for the Airstream over the Max Flare. But by going for Max Flare, we just ensure that we get the KO. And honestly, this might be putting enough pressure on my opponent's Metagross that the Metagross might not even be the Dynamax target for my opponent anymore. I think if I were them, I would seriously consider not doing it. Like, I would just Protect here if I had Protect on my Metagross. Knowing that it's weakness policy, it probably does have Protect. So that way, when Landorus and whatever my last Pokemon is comes in, I could potentially use Landorus or that other Pokemon as the Dynamax target. My opponent had a very offensive team, so... Okay. So knowing that they've seen 3 out of 4 of my Pokemon and that they've still decided to go ahead and Dynamax Metagross, to me implies that their last Pokemon might be the Galarian Zapdos. Or, excuse me, Galarian Moltres. Because my opponent needs to pick up the KO on Zapdos at all costs, and their best way to do that would be a Max Hailstorm from a +2 Metagross. So, yeah, this might actually be bad. No, okay, no. that was my opponent's win con, I believe. It could still be wrong. It's definitely, you know, we still don't know what their last Pokemon is. If it is the Moltres, then it certainly is something to be afraid of, but not necessarily game-ending. Yeah, this game was actually pretty straightforward for once. Maybe we'll do 2 battles today. I'm surprised actually at how quick this went. Like, I always think that it's smart to try and switch in a Pokemon to get a weakness policy proc. You know, it's kind of taking defensive switching to the next level. But the fact that you're also forced to switch into something that will take super effective damage in order to get the benefit of the weakness policy does make it seem tougher, I would say. Definitely tougher. So we're going to go ahead and go for a second Max Flare into the Magnezone. It is most likely that this Magnezone has the Sturdy ability, so it essentially gets a free Focus Sash, so we will need 2 hits into it regardless. I'm going to take this opportunity to switch my Landorus out so that I'm not intimidated twice. I could have also gone for a U-turn here, and as a matter of fact, since Tailwind is still up on the field, going for the U-turn to break the Sturdy ability on the Magnezone would have been the more optimal play for that. But I didn't, and it's okay because we're just going to +2 special attack the Magnezone. So, like, it wasn't the most optimized turn, but I think it's still gonna have a good ending for us. Yeah. Yep, there's Sturdy right there. So it's interesting that the Landorus is, I mean, it's definitely Choice Scarf. We can confirm that at this point in time. Since it outspeed my -1 Zapdos under Tailwind. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. I lost track of my button inputs again. Please excuse that. Alright, so let's go ahead and go for Moonblast into the Landorus. There's really not much else we can do here. Whimsicott does still outspeed Landorus under Tailwind, which is good. I feel like that further confirms the Choice Scarf on Landorus. Unfortunately, though, Zapdos will get knocked out before we can do any damage here, but that's okay. Next turn, we're going to send in our own Landorus, Tailwind, and Rock Slide to hopefully pick up the win. So... Oh, never mind. Flash Cannon, right. Alright, yeah, wow. I really should have focused in on that Magnezone. That was totally my bad. We're still in a fine position to win this, thankfully, but I've given my opponent an opening in the form of Choice Scarf Rock Slide, unfortunately, which is never something that you should do willingly or knowingly. So that's bad. Oh, I like completely flubbed my win con on this. This is beautiful. It's interesting too because you know what? I've already flubbed this win con so poorly. Let's just go ahead and U-turn the Magnezone for the guaranteed hit. Or that works too. That's fine. I see my opponent is very wisely using their turns to slowly whittle down the health and try and optimize their opportunity to get flinches and deal damage, but thankfully no flinch on her Shifu, and that just picks up the KO. So we are only one attack away from winning. So some pretty suboptimal plays there by Gabby, but still a win and recognition of the fact that I completely handed the win con to my opponent at one point. So that's just something that you got to practice for. And admittedly, it's something that I find also very hard to sort of learn how to handle. When it feels like you have a win condition locked down, you know, you might have actually noticed in my commentary, I kind of switched into this post-game mode where I started talking about like, oh yeah, high level, this. But the game wasn't over at that point, and because of that, it's really important to just take a deep breath when you reach that point in the game, and then just keep enough attention on it so that you don't, you know, give your opponent extra opportunities to attack and or cause some of the randomness that really gives people openings in a game like Pokemon. Basically, rock slide flinch. But anyways, the good news is because of my my desire to educate y'all on what it's like to give up your win con, this video is actually a perfectly fine length. So I think I'm going to call this upload here for today. Thank you all so much for watching. If you haven't already, please make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel on YouTube. I do uploads every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I do like to focus on showcasing teams from the VGC community that either I've built or that some of my Discord members have built, or just, you know, cool teams I found on the internet. So if you have a team you'd like to share with me and potentially for me to showcase on a battle a day, please let me know down in the comments below. You can follow me on Twitch and join me on my live streams. Again, those are every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday starting at 7 p.m. Eastern. Or you could just follow me on Twitter as well. You know, I post a lot of stuff on there that's sometimes Pokemon related. So yeah, that's it from today's upload. I'll be back on Wednesday with a new team to feature for a battle a day. So until then, I'll see you later.